Welcome.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Welcome to another episode of Unbuttoned. We've got Shani.
Hi.
Hi, Shani. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. Very excited to be here.
You're a singer.
I am. Singer-songwriter, yes.
Singer-songwriter.
Yes.
What style of music would you say you...
Mostly folk rock.
Folk rock.
Yeah, but
Okay.
also a little bit of grunge and blues and
How did you get into that?
into folk or into...
Yeah.
I don't know, I just had I grew up in a house that had a whole bunch of different mixtures of influences. Like my dad was very into progressive rock.
Right.
And my mum was more of a 70s, 80s pop girl, so found it in the middle somehow.
70s, 80s pop girl.
Yeah.
So like Madonna.
No, she's a little before Madonna, but more like the Police. Even the Police,
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't call them
Police.
pop, but
Yeah.
and she hates it when I say in interviews, but I do it every interview that she taught me Bob Marley. So
Why does she hate it?
because in the first interview I've ever done, so I was asked about my influences, and then I said like all the things that my mama taught me, and I said
Yeah.
Bob Marley, and then she said, "I can't believe you. That's what you got from me." So now every interview I say, "Mom taught me about Bob Marley."
Shout out to Mum and Bob Marley. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. We dance around with Bob Marley. It was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Now, I'm actually intrigued by your accent. Yeah.
so I was born in England,
Right.
and I grew up in Israel.
Right.
Yeah. So I speak with my parents in English.
Yes.
Growing up, I hung out with Americans that they would laugh at my accent, the English accent. So like, well, let's get in the car. Oh, let's get in the car. And so it also
let's
the
get
R's.
in the car.
Yeah, so the R's also changed a bit so that they can. So it all got mashed and muddled, and this is my accent.
International.
Yes.
It's an international
It's
accent.
an international accent, exactly.
Do you find that the people that you interact with will slightly change your accent a little bit?
Sometimes I find like, first of all, in general, it takes. I found that it takes approximately 11 minutes for an Australian to ask me my accent because of the fluency. So the first 5 minutes of the conversation will flow and everything will be fine, and then I'll pronounce something in a wrong way, and then you'll see this look. And then they'll spend the next 5 minutes trying to figure it out themselves until they give up. So you've got a bit of an accent. Where are you from?
Yeah, I can really understand that now.
Yeah.
Listening to you talk.
Yeah. So it changes a little bit. I'm probably around Australians. It'll be a little more, a little more towards there. And I don't know. It changes.
A little bit more Australian.
How you going? The first time I came to Australia and I landed, and the guy in the passport thing, he goes, "How you going?" And I said, "How am I going where?" And he's like, I was like, "What?"
Wow.
I don't know. That's not what he's talking about.
I mean, I actually do understand. It's kind of a strange question to ask.
How you going?
How you going?
Like, I mean, I've just landed. I just got off a plane. So how am I going?
What country? What city was that?
In Melbourne.
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
So the first thing.
First thing, how you going? How am I going? Where? Like, just what?
How am I going? I'm walking.
Because I know how you're doing. So yeah, so I'm look, I've been here for about 6 years, so I already know, I know some of the jokes, I know some of the like the little Aussie history things, and I'm fully Australian now. I'm a citizen, so I've got three citizenships.
3?
Yes,
Are you allowed to have 3?
yes. In my combination, yes. So I've got the British, Israeli, and Australian.
Right.
Yeah.
In your combination. I like how you said that.
Because let's say if you had a German citizenship, you couldn't, because Germany can only have one.
Right.
And if you want, I think also with the Chinese, I think also if they get an Australian, so they need to,
they have to give it up.
I think so.
Oh.
I think so. I know with the Germans, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. So my name is Shani, and as I said, I grew up in Israel.
But hang on, you were born in the
I was
UK.
born in England. Yeah,
In England.
yeah, I was born in
So
England.
that's where your parents met.
Yes, my parents are British.
Right.
So they were born there. Grandparents, sort of with everything going on in those times, so they all ended up coming to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So one grandfather was from Vienna, and he came to the UK, and one came from Russia, one from Wales, one from Ireland. Somehow all came, had my parents, and parents had me and my brother, and then we came to Israel. Yeah.
So, so is your brother older or younger?
Older. I've got one older, two younger.
Okay, so there's 4.
4. Yeah, and some steps and stuff.
And do they are they into music at all?
No, so I'm a one generation removed music family. So my grandfather was a violinist. He played with the orchestra, and my grandmother was a flautist, and she was on this touring ensemble around England.
Right.
And they met each other through music, and then they had their kids, and none of them are musical whatsoever. And neither are any of my brothers.
Do you feel like you're privileged to like carry that on?
I don't know if I think, I mean, my grandmother, she said that when I was like just at the age I could reach the piano, I would choose my notes. I wouldn't just bang like a child. So they nurtured that. So in a way, yes, very much. And yeah, it's like my first tattoo was sort of as thanks to that. So it's like the geekiest tattoo in the world. It's the the notes of Ode to Joy. But that's just because my grandfather, he loved Beethoven and from Vienna, and it's just that sort of having their influence in the music and giving it back kind of thing.
Right. I wouldn't have picked you to have a tattoo.
I've got 4.
4?
Yes.
Are the other ones musical as well?
No, I've got, so the first one was the Ode to Joy one. And then I did one when we came here. So I've got like over here, like a Valknut, which is like the sign of motherhood and rebirth, because I just had my first. And then I've got this one here, which means breathe in Sanskrit, which is for the second one, who was born during COVID. So it's like all about breath.
Goddamn COVID. Hey, at least you had something good come out of COVID.
Yeah.
Did you fall pregnant during COVID?
No. So we came here at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
So it was like, that first year of just immigrating, which is shit. Can we say shit? Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Shit.
It was fucked.
Beyond, really.
Yeah.
So we just had a year here, so we hadn't really had time to to set up. Like it was more landing, trying to find our ways and everything, and then bang, pregnant, COVID, stuck at home. I don't know anyone. So yeah.
Crazy.
But we made it past, no?
If you were still in Israel, what would you be doing?
I did music in Israel. So I started piano when I was like 5, and then I went on to a music school where I took up also guitar and singing, and then I did a bachelor's and master's in music. So,
oh wow!
Yeah. So in Israel, I was running I was head of music in a school and performing, and that's what I do here as well.
Oh, so you're a teacher here?
Yes, I'm a music teacher
teacher.
and a radio presenter and performer, and a musician mom, which is it's a unique type of mom. It is. Listen, I mean,
why?
Why
is it a unique type of mom?
Because you're on the stage and people are saying Shani Weiss and everyone's applauding. You're like, wow, and then you come home and you're cleaning shit from a nappy that's just exploded, and it's like, where was I a second ago and where am I now?
Right. Okay. So that's why
it's a different type of mom.
Yeah. I mean, because you're getting all the accolades from being up on the performance, and Stuff
and
like
then
that.
and then finding yourself with a tantrum. It's like that. People loved me a second ago, and like you're hating me because I smiled at you strangely, and I didn't. I just smiled at you regularly.
No, it's not that they hate you. It's the only way that they can communicate
Yeah,
is by throwing a tantrum.
yeah,
They can't do anything else.
yeah. I guess.
Yeah. But I appreciate and understand what you're saying. Like, it is a very unique situation to be in.
It's a mum that that's not at home in the evenings. That I mean, one of their purposes, Tom and Luca, my boys. So one of their purposes in life is to be my roadies, and look,
Keep it in the family.
No, listen, I look at it this way. I carried them inside my body for close to a year. Okay? They should carry my gear, no?
Oh, so is this something that you're going to instill on them to do?
It's already happening.
Oh, they're already doing
they
it?
know, yeah, they know.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is your husband a musician as well?
No, we need to have some balance, no?
What does he do?
He's a mechanical engineer. So,
Mechanical engineer.
yeah. So he works in a company. So they take samples of water from places and then they filter the water to know how much bacteria is in the water. So
Right.
like, cows drinking like in the field, and then they know if it's clean enough and
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Gotcha. That is such a complete parallel opposite to being a creative.
Yeah, but it's
But it works.
is what
Shit. I don't want to start something here. Just say it works.
It works. Yeah, it totally works. We balance each other out, man.
Yeah. You got to balance each other out. You can't be like right into each other's faces like all of the time, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a different. There's, I mean, every creative and relationships, it's hard to live with a creative person. It's sort of there's just that I said about being a mum, that like you've got that adrenaline rush from the performing, and then coming back to that very steep fall.
Yeah.
And so like there'll be at home, like if suddenly I have a muse and I need to go, and I need now to go to the keys, I need to go to the guitar, I need to do it now, so everything needs to stop. It's not very regular, if you need to do the washing and stuff like that. It's like, no, I need to get on the guitar now.
That's interesting how you called it the muse.
Yeah.
So this like embodiment of explain that.
I'll explain it through Taylor Swift, even though I'm not a complete Swiftie, but she did give a good. Why are you?
No,
Oh, okay.
but
So
okay, all right.
No, I had to write a chapter about her in a book for teaching
Right.
music or
Right.
something like that. So
Like an article or something.
a chapter
Okay.
about Taylor Swift. So there was a lot of going into a lot of investment. So I do feel, a bond, but can't consider myself like a full-on Swiftie.
Right.
But anyways,
Did you want to be a full-on Swiftie?
no, I really appreciate what she does and everything. But I mean, and I sat with my boys. We watched on. We didn't get tickets. I didn't get tickets to the show, but I watched the whole show, and she's amazing and everything. But 3.5 hours of songs sounding more or less the same breakup. I don't know. It doesn't challenge me so much. But where's Taylor Swift and where am I? I'm here on Unbuttoned, so
You
I'm
are.
winning.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Anyway, back to
Anyway, so what Taylor
Muse.
said
Yeah.
was that that it comes down like a cloud, and if you don't catch it in that moment, so then it goes. So like she said she'll be hanging with her friends, and her friends already know that suddenly something will happen, and she needs to go to the side and record something to her phone. So it just sort of happens.
how often does it happen for you?
It depends what's going on in life in the last year, so it hasn't happened so much. But when it happens, they take advantage.
Do you find that you write and produce songs based on what's going on in your life?
Yeah. Because that I've been with my partner for a very long time, talking about, close to 20 years, like a very long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So I don't have the breakup songs.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I don't have the breakup song so much. So whenever we have like a really serious fight, it's like, great, get the guitar, good. Okay, now let's write something. It's like, great. And then I've got like, the
What?
sad melody.
Why do you want a breakup song?
Because that's the ones that work. That's the ones that
Is
touch
it?
people. Yeah, come on. It fills people's heartstrings and then people feel it and then they feel connected and all that. And I'm sort of more of a happy kind of person, song type thing.
Right.
Yeah. So if there's an opportunity to write a good heartbreak song, it's like, oh, we got a good fight. Great.
I got a story for you.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair stories. Yes.
Yeah. It's, I guess, yeah. So are you saying that all of Taylor Swift songs are breakup songs?
I'm saying that the majority of what I saw on that 3.5 hour show that she gave, which was amazing, and yeah, it was a lot more of breakup songs, and I think that she's got so much to her. I think I would love to see her go deeper than that. But what she does sells and works. So,
I mean, she's really kind of built her empire off like what she does, and
yeah, But not just her. So like Ed Sheeran. I mean, how many times have you had an English girl in a country bar, or an American girl in an English town, or what? Like it's constantly like the thing because it works. It works with what people like.
People like to have their heartstrings pulled.
Yeah. The unexplainable thing called love.
Fuck love. No.
So I actually don't write about love.
Don't you?
No.
What do you write about?
So I've got a launch coming up this Saturday, by the way.
Oh.
Yes.
What are you launching?
Yeah, I'm launching my single on the
Yes.
SP. I'm not just I didn't just like shove that in there. There's a reason why I'm answering. But so preparing, all of the stories behind the songs and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing that a lot of my stories behind my songs are about people that piss me off at work.
Wow.
Because look,
do they know this?
So I've told one of them actually. I've told her because the single coming out. So the single's coming on the 15th of November, and the launch is this Saturday on the SP. And so there's a sentence that goes, going through my week, working morning to night, clashes at work, almost got in a fight. And because I really I didn't get along with someone at work. This was written a couple of years ago, and now I actually like her, and I told her that. Yeah.
I think work relationships are interesting though, because we're kind of like forced into this environment where you don't get to pick and choose who you're interacting with, and you just have to kind of like make it work.
Yeah, well, that's every environment except for your friends, no? I mean, also your family.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can choose not to be there.
Yeah.
Work, you can't choose not to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have a job.
I like doing fuck you eyes to people I don't get along with at work.
What are fuck you eyes?
It's like you're working with someone that you cannot stand, and that's like
like
trying to trip you up, like trying.
The devil's eyes.
No, it's fuck you.
Oh.
You smile, you like really smile really nicely at them, and through your eyes you say, "Fuck you."
Oh yeah, because it doesn't look genuine.
I don't know if it looks genuine or not, but instead of saying instead of just like ignoring them or not making a big deal. So every time
it's like killing them with kindness.
It's I think it's from there was this Korean series Crash Landing on You. You seen it?
No.
So she does that. The main character. So that's what she does. Every time she'd see someone that she just give them the eye.
That is
Yeah.
funny. Are
Yeah.
you obsessed with everything Korean?
No, I'm actually not. That's the one series that I saw, and we were just talking off air about. Yes, I know, but it just worked out. But I'm interested in Korea. Yes, I'd like to go there
Yeah.
because I think things work a little differently there. Also, especially
North
with
Korea
music.
or South Korea?
I don't think I can go around North Korea, but I'd also like to
I don't think anybody can.
No, I understood that you can do tours.
Or can you?
Yeah, but you're not allowed to take pictures, and you're not allowed to. It's very sort of you go where you can. But
And then you secretly take pictures
no, I
and try
wouldn't.
not to get caught.
I don't know. I think that's worth it.
Yeah. So you mentioned as well, like before you came here, you were backpacking. And
So
you decided to go backpacking. Is there anywhere else that you went?
so Israelis, we usually go to school, then do the army, and then after that we go off for like 18 months or something, traveling around the world. That's usually the.
Because you've saved up your money while you're doing army.
No, I came completely broke. No,
Oh, shit.
No, I saved up money to get the flight to here, and then I worked here, and then continued
Right.
traveling. So I traveled for about, I don't know, I was here for about, I think, 10 months, including 2 months in New Zealand. And then I met my then one-night stand, and today my husband. It was a very good night.
You didn't want to stay in New Zealand?
No, New Zealand was just traveling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he went back to Israel, and then he called me from there and said, "Listen, we had a good thing going. Come with me to India." Yeah, so I said, "Okay." So I did a little more traveling here in Australia, and I went from Alice Spring to Darwin, and sort of checked that part out, and stopped over at Thailand, came back to Israel, said, "Hi, Mom, hi, Dad, sorry, I haven't been here for a year. This is my boyfriend, and we're going to India." And then we went off for another 4 months to India and Nepal.
What was your mum and dad's reaction to that? And I do have another question, but I'll get you to answer.
I don't
that one
remember. I mean, but sort of it's not like, I mean, it's part of my character. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I can't believe what she's doing.
So does that mean that you were always introducing, hey mum and dad, this is my new boyfriend, like every second week?
Oh, well, I have a story if you want.
Yeah.
A story with my mom and a boy.
Sure.
So as a teenager, right? So I had this boy staying over, and then I told him that in the morning he's got to go to 90s. He's got to go to the beanbag, right? Because like if my mom comes in the morning to wake me up, so he's. At the time, my brother was away and my cousin was sleeping in my brother's bed. Okay, Mom comes in the morning and she sees this boy sleeping on the floor, and she says, "Ah, it must be my brother who came late at night and I didn't have a bed, so he slept on my beanbag."
Right.
So she sits down on the floor and starts stroking his face and says, "Why don't you come sleep in my bed?"
Holy shit.
And then he wakes up and looks at it like, oh my God.
So he woke up?
Yeah. And just stroking this. Yeah, it's a good story.
I mean, mum trying to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
Yes, it's funny.
What was it? So the question I wanted to ask was because you had to do national service.
Yes.
To be in the army.
Yeah.
Is it 2 years?
Yeah. Girls 2 years, boys 3.
Girls 2, boys 3.
Yeah.
So what's that like?
It depends what you do. It's for me it was amazing. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. I was in the Air Force, so I was a fighter pilot.
What the fuck?
No, not really.
Oh, shit,
But
you
you know,
really got me.
I know, and I didn't hold it for that long because I know we're like on time limit and everything. But yeah.
No, there's no time limit. But
Okay. No. So just sometimes like I'll pull like it's
so
just
okay.
I like to see the how people suddenly change the way they look at me when I say I was a fighter pilot, and then they're like, suddenly it's like, oh wow, she's incredible.
I'm actually not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because I've had so many people on this podcast who've told me stuff, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I had no idea. You know, like it's just crazy.
No, so I wasn't a fighter pilot, but I did air traffic control.
You did air traffic control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That in itself is like super complicated and like fast paced anyway.
Yeah, there's lots of aspects to it that are pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
I almost was going to ask you didn't do like you weren't like in a band when you're in
What, in the army?
Yeah.
No, I tried to create a music room, but it didn't work out. But
Right.
no, it was something completely detached from music.
Yeah. And do you feel like doing the national service, like, it almost, because you know you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. You
And
can get out of it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
You have to pay a fee or something, or
No, you can. You've got to come and show. Like there's other options. I mean, you can do so. You're expected to do something for the country. So if let's say, not everyone. It's not going to benefit everyone to be in the army. Some people it can cause like anxiety and stress, and then it doesn't. So you have other options. So you can do things like, helping in old age homes
gotcha, yeah.
or people with disabilities, or just you do something.
Yeah.
Go to the periphery towns and help out there, and yeah.
Because I was I was born in Singapore, but not as a citizen.
Okay.
So I didn't have to do national service.
Yeah, they've also got
but I've got friends that live here in Melbourne who were born citizens, and they never went back to do the national service. You can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And one of my mates, he. When his grandmother passed away, he called the sergeant that had the warrant for his arrest and said, "Is there anything that I can do to get out of it? How much do I have to pay? Yada, yada, yada." And the sergeant said, "Well, no, you can't pay anything. Like there's nothing." He said, "The minute you board a plane to fly to Singapore, and even if it's transit,
that's it.
The police will know that you're on the plane, and then when it lands, they will board the plane, handcuff you, throw you in jail for 2 years, and then have to do your national service afterwards."
Oof.
Yeah,
yeah, sucks.
So it's always funny. Like when I tell people that I was born in Singapore, they're like, "Oh, did you do national service?" No. I was born on holiday. Yeah.
That's good. That's a nice way to be born.
Yeah.
It's a nice outlook of life. I was born on holiday.
Do you think, though, that doing the national service kind of helped, form your character and your work ethic?
I had high work ethics beforehand because
Yeah.
I was working since a very young age. But what it did do is so my high school years were kind of rough. As they usually
rough.
as they usually are. Yes, I know. But sort of parents were getting divorced at the time. I was in my school was falling apart. Everything was like sort of things. I would work more than go to school, and I ended up finishing without a
certificate.
Yeah, what do you call it? Like a G or VCE or
VCE.
Yeah,
so here it's a VCE.
Yeah. So I finished without a VCE, and I thought like sort of whoever finishes without a VCE is stupid. Like I've got street smarts, but I'm stupid. And then when I went to the
sorry, you're not stupid.
So when I went to the army, so that's something that I understood. Thank you, by the way. But
you should also one of my sayings is you should never put yourself down.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, when you're 18 and everyone's finished school and successfully, and so basically when we got to the army, so we had we had all the basic training and everything in the course, and then they give you sort of like this amount of papers to learn on the day in the morning, and then in the afternoon you're tested on it every single day. And it's about like really complicated stuff. So, and I was sort of top of my group.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, oh, hang on, I'm not failing. I'm not even that I'm not failing. I'm one of the stronger ones.
Yeah.
So that basically sort of let me know that, okay, I'm not stupid.
Yeah. The second part of my saying, so you should never put yourself down because other people will do that for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good kind of like learning, I suppose, for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of your personality and in terms of your character, as to how you kind of like pick up information and develop.
Again, in high school, alongside with all of the things that were going on, so I also had ADD, which at the time, I mean, still have, but at the time it was like sort of a bit taboo. It was sort of something that you were very, you didn't want to say out loud. It
Conscious
was
and aware of, yeah.
Yeah, not everyone. It wasn't sort of that everyone's got it like like it is nowadays.
It was kind of frowned upon, I think.
I don't know if frowned upon, but it's like, everyone does a test and then you need to go out of the class to do the oral test with the teacher, and sort of it's like, you've got to, you see. It seemed like sort of you've got something where it's like, nowadays today everyone it's just awareness.
I think everyone's on the spectrum at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, especially with everything going on with all the screens and all of that. But so with the army, because that you have to do it on the same day and you've got to pass 85.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Where for me in high school, if I got 70, that was like amazing. And suddenly so the pressure is what made it work. So
would you say that you're more like a maths person or an English person?
I'm very good at calculating 12.5% tip.
Wow.
So in Israel, that's how much tip you give. You give 12.5%. So I'm very good at calculating.
Why is it 12.5?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
That's what it is. But no, I'm not like sort of I'm good with simple math, but no. I mean, with musicians, so it works. It works with the brain. That like that you've got the sort of that the left side, right's the analytical side, and the right side's the more like inspirational music side. But the thing about music, what's cool about music, unlike other art forms, is that if we're talking about rhythm or tempo, so we're on the left side, right? But if we're talking about the tempo or the feel or the vibe, we're on the right side. So you're constantly cross. So that would be my mathematical abilities of like touching there enough to be able to walk the life. But
I think it is interesting though, because like there's this whole thing around art versus science, right?
Yeah.
And so what you explain there is, yes, there is a level of structure and absolute, knowledge, which is your science aspect, and then there's the art, which is more free flowing and it's all about perspective and like stuff like that.
Maybe architecture, maybe that might also combine the two. I think maybe because it's got a lot of that analytical, but the creative part.
Yeah, I actually think the great thing about being human is that if you can design your life to be able to do both things at the exact same time, be it like have two jobs or have one job that allows you to do both, then you have a greater opportunity to use all of your brain to the best of its capability.
Yeah.
You know, like with my photography.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started, I had no idea what I was doing
Okay.
because I didn't study photography.
Okay.
I'm
So you're
self-taught.
self-taught. Wow.
I'm self-taught. And so when you're self-taught, you go through all of the cycles of trying out new things and working out what you like and then self-doubting yourself and then trying it again and right?
Yeah.
But if you do it enough, you get to a point where you know what you like
Mm-hmm.
and you follow a formula because there's structure in it.
Yeah. I mean,
And then every now and then I'll be like, oh, I want to do something like
yeah, as long as
completely
you're
out there.
shifting, as long as you're
Yeah.
shifting occasionally. But yeah. I mean, I think a creative is constantly in the sort of with the our balance is on one hand thinking that the sun's shining out of our ass to being like the worst person in the world, like completely not untalented. No,
What do you mean? The sun is shining out of my ass
that's how it works.
all
no?
of the time.
Oh, okay. I am feeling it is feeling very bright here.
That's because of the lights that we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's interesting.
Look, I had when I recorded my first album, Touch of Reality, in Israel just before coming here, and the album took about 2.5 years to record, and it was and it was like it was my first album and everything, and so like each take, you know, like so I'd go in and do a guitar take, and it would take like do it again and again and again and again and work on it, and then I was in Israel just this April, May, and I was gonna record my EP here in Melbourne, and then I said, "Hang on a sec, I'm going to Israel. My recording studio's there. All my friends are musicians and everything. Let's do it at home." And so I did it there, and having that 5-year gap sort of between where I was in the first recording to coming in, and so I go into the recording studio and I'm recording the guitars or something. So I do 3 takes, and the producer said, "Okay, good, we've got it." I was like, "What do you mean we've got it? I just did 3 takes. What are you talking about?" It's like, "Yeah, we've got it. It's good. It's what last time we did 20 takes. Like, what are you talking about?" And so sort of that for me was like the, you know, when we were talking about the self-doubting and stuff like that. So getting from my producer, Kobi Farhi, who's like one of the best producers in Israel. So getting from him that like, you're good. That's that's it. I can not rest, because we can never actually rest. That's part of there's always like another piece to learn. There's always another skill there's always getting better. But at least I know to myself that I'm good enough, and if you don't like it, that's yours.
Yeah, I think being a creative, you're always going to be doubting yourself because you always know that there's something more.
But that's what I'm saying, that I'm not doubting myself. I'm not. I'm constantly. I think I can do better. But I don't doubt myself. I know my worth. And I stand behind it. Am I the best singer in the world? No. Am I the best songwriter in the world? No. There's lots, but I'm as long as I'm constantly working and creating and doing, it's not it's for life. It's not about, okay, I'm gonna release my single now and that's it. I'm gonna make it. It doesn't work like that. You're constantly, you're growing, you're evolving, and as long as you're doing that, and I'm saying that especially as a woman, mom, because a lot of female musicians after becoming moms, so then that's it. They go into mom life and everything. So as long as I'm creating and I'm doing, I'm performing, and that's all. That's all. I mean, that will make it better as it is. So. So just some self-love. No need for doubt.
I think though, like getting that feedback from your producer would have been like really rewarding, because it means.
Listen, he told me that I can be a ukulele session player. That's like the biggest compliment I've ever got in my life.
Is it a ukulele?
A ukulele session player.
Right.
Because do you know what a session player is, right?
No.
Okay. So a session player is someone that can go into the recording studio and take like a perfect take. Sort of, it's a different type of musician. So it's a musician that can work under laboratory terms, like that, because it's not like the vibe on the stage where you've got to be accurate, you've got to be perfect, it's got to sound clean, it's a different type of musician. It's more of an analytical musician.
And because a ukulele is a smaller.
No, so the funny thing is that like I bought my ukulele when I had my first son, just so that I can play something. And then when he was 1 year old, we came here.
Mm-hmm.
And we came here. We didn't have any jobs, any friends, anything. And so I was just like just trying to find jobs as a music teacher. And whatever anyone threw at me was like, yeah, sure, I can do. Of course. Can you teach ukulele? Yeah, of course I can teach ukulele. Yeah. I mean, I knew a few chords and everything. And from there to today, like, I took the ukulele, like now I'm, I've got an electric ukulele that's full on. So to be able to go into the studio and play ukulele in the level that he says I could be a session ukulele player, that's it. I'm good.
That's amazing.
It is.
I
So
had no idea about that kind of like aspect to it all.
what of
Like being a session player.
Yeah, it's different. It's different because you need to. Because like I said, it's in the studio. I mean, just like I'm guessing like with photography that when you have that perfect picture, I mean, how much you're actually saying no, do this angle, make that, like it's not as romantic as it looks in the picture.
It's clinical.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with playing. Whereas like on stage, when you have the vibe of the audience and things, so then you can do other things, but there's no room for mistakes in the studio. It's yeah.
It is yeah, now you say it like that, I do get it. Because like as a self-taught photographer, you kind of have to learn. Well, I learnt like through the act of doing the photo shoots, like all the different aspects that I needed to control. And I guess with my style of photography, like my mates would be like, oh, like, how do you do it? Da, da, da. And I'm like, bro, there's like so many things going on in my head.
Yeah.
Like lighting, camera settings, angles, conversation, what's going on with hair, what's going on with hands, what's going on with outfit, how we're going to move to like transition to the next thing, like all of this, right? Like it's just like not.
And then you have that take that's like, it's like, I'm just sitting here.
And you, I think as a photographer, you try to do things, there's a couple of ways that you could like produce the image. You either you do everything that you can before you click the button, or you do everything that you can after you click the button. And after you click the button, like I guess I think it's harder. Yeah. Because if you do stuff before, then you don't. Then it's all
need to do after.
Yeah, you don't need to do the after.
Yeah.
And there are some photographers who are phenomenally good at doing the before. Like I can't remember what his name is, but he does like these street scenes, and he literally orchestrates the whole photo from like the lights, the lampposts, the the lighting in the shop fronts, and like all this type of stuff, and then whether or not there's any vehicles or cars, and like all of this, all to get this like one storyline in the whole image.
Cool.
Yeah.
But it's not like the sunset, chick chick.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. No.
So it's the same thing with the session musicians, and also with the before and after. So like, I mean, so there might be like, you might do sort of, I don't know, whatever, even if it's in my case 3 takes. But you still need to afterwards, like, so you'll go over it and then you'll see that, okay, verse sounds great, but in the chorus, this take isn't so good. We'll cut it. We'll take another take. So all the music you're listening to is unless it's like an amazing session guitarist that comes on guitarist or whatever instrument comes, does one take, perfect, that's it. There's always work in between and after and all that.
Have you ever played with or collaborated with someone who you've like been inspired by?
Have I ever collaborated? Yeah, I mean,
And you've kind of been a little bit starstruck?
yes, but I'm like trying to think now. I mean, because I've had sort of workshops and things with studying music. So there's been a lot of that. I sort of so in Israel. Regarding here, I mean, I don't know if there's. I've hung out with people that have been that what, like the name drop and stuff.
No. All right, next question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
What advice would I give my younger self? You know, it's funny because this is a question I ask my interviewees, and then it's like when it gets thrown back to you, it's like, what?
Hang on, who are you interviewing?
So I have a radio show on 88 FM, on JA Radio called Indie Spotlight Melbourne. It's every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Nice.
And I interview local indie musicians.
Nice.
So yeah, so every week. So this week we have a guy called Eric Benz and Jono, who was here. So he's also coming on the show, and Celeste was on the show.
Jono's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So what were we saying?
So what advice would you give your younger self?
So, you know, the thing is, like, if I would change something, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, so because and I'm saying this from the angle of me asking the questions and seeing these answers, right? And seeing like musicians after musicians doing the answer of what, you know, like whether if it's be more patient or whether if it's be more proactive and get off your butt, or all of these things. I don't know. I mean, because I can't tell my younger self to, like, you know, believe in yourself more or stuff like it's things that grow over time. You need to go through whatever you need to go through to get to where you went through. So I don't have any regrets on like what I've done. I'm constantly doing lists and achieving them, except for some silly stuff from like when I was a teenager that was still on the list. like ice pole fishing. It's like, you know, when I was 16, that's still
Hang on. What?
I don't know. It's like, you know, from these stupid things that it's just
ice pole fishing.
Ice pole fishing. Like yeah, when you fish. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not. It's just stuck there on the list, and I like always get my lists done. So I don't know about that one. I think like I want to let it go, but it's still.
What? Why did you want to?
I don't know. I don't know. But I did all the rest, like going to Australia, bungee jumping, skydiving, or doing all those, like, you know, creating an album.
What's been the most absurd thing on your list, other than ice pole fishing?
Probably bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scared of doing bungee jumping.
I am as well.
I've done skydiving.
Yeah.
Bungee jumping, I don't know. Just
I did it in my 20s. I wouldn't do it today.
Just the thought.
Maybe I would.
The thought of like having rope attached to my legs and then the jolt on my back. I'm like, oh, bro, like the backache.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Right. It's my bungee story. So first time I bungeed was in New Zealand.
Of course.
Right. And, you know, it's very organized there. And then you've got the, like, sort of cart going in between the mountains. And everything's very safety stuff. And you've got, like, this strap that goes across. And then when you finish jumping, you've got to pull the strap on your legs so that you come up, like, sitting and not upside down. Right. And everything's, like, sort of very, very orderly. And then I jumped, I pulled the strap, came back up, and then went back to the thing, and there's these like huge screens showing you a jump, and everything's nice and great. And then I decided, and then I bungeed in Nepal. So in Nepal, it's very different. So there's a bridge, like a swaying bridge, and this rope with like the strings coming out of it, kind of thing. And you're just tied on your feet. There's nothing like with the shoulders and everything. So you jump, right? And it's beautiful. You're in between the mountains and the air and the thing and the river. And then you've got the way to get down. You've got these two Nepalese guys holding this bamboo stick. And you're dangling upside down and trying to catch it. Right? And that after a jump. So I'm trying to catch it, and they're laughing. I thought, okay, it must be really funny, having the laughing. Like, just jumped off a bridge trying to catch a stick, and then I caught the stick, and then they brought me down, and I realized why they were actually laughing, because coming down from the heavens was all of me in my glory.
Right.
And they're standing looking at me as I'm coming down with my boobs hanging out, like so. Yeah. That was fun. And then you had to walk up the 160 meters of a mountain, going past a village with Nepalese people saying, another stupid person jumping off a bridge, and then come to where everyone's gathering. And then there's this guy that took a video of it. And so
no.
And I was like, no, please don't.
Please don't show the video.
So luckily then it wasn't caught in a video, but those two Nepalese guys had a nice afternoon that day. Yes.
I mean, they just do things differently there.
Yeah. Yes.
Like literally.
Yes.
Bungee jumping in New Zealand would have been really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. A very positive experience. So it's a Nepal, but yeah, the ending was slightly exposing.
Unbuttoned, maybe.
Yes.
And so, okay, so you've got the album, an EP coming out.
Yeah.
The launches this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's going to be available on the 15th.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Spotify,
everything.
a website, like all of that type of stuff.
I'm really bad with the website. My websites are not dated and things, but yeah. But on iTunes thing. I'm on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. And what are your plans for like growing? Because an EP is only a certain number of songs, right?
Yes, 6. Up to 30 minutes or 6 songs.
Are you coming out with more songs for a larger album?
No. If I've learned something from interviewing the musicians here, who most of them are much younger than me, it's that it's just people don't listen to albums, unfortunately, nowadays.
Right.
So it's just not worth putting that amount of effort. Better off releasing singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. There isn't that, the story behind the opening, the thing, the reading the covers, the...
Yeah, I get it. We've moved into like a period where, due to like technology and attention spans and like all of that, like people just want to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I understood that. That sort of in the future, you're only going to have like if let's say now you've got 15 seconds to sell something or whatever, so you'll have like only 7.
Sell me something in 7 seconds.
Okay.
1,
Wait, I don't know what I'm
2,
selling you. Okay. Wait, I don't know what I'm selling you. Blue tack.
Okay, go.
Okay, you could stick it on everything. It's environmental friendly, and you always need some good blue tack.
You wasted a second.
Oh, sorry.
At the end.
Or maybe I'm efficient.
Is it environmentally friendly?
I don't know, but I have to sell something, so now you know.
Yeah.
Come on, do you actually go check everything that's supervised? That's supervised. That's doesn't matter.
I think you did. A good
I
job.
went to Coldplay last night, right?
How was it?
It was amazing. It was really, really amazing. But so they say that everything, this whole performance is made of everything's recyclable and everything's they're going on and on and on and on and on about how everything in the show is to make a better future and blah 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 blah.
Mm.
And then they end the show with like lots of fireworks. This huge fireworks thing that you're leaving the show and you can actually smell sort of the
fumes.
Yeah.
And the smoke.
And this is every night. So I'm thinking,
I mean, were they environmentally friendly fireworks?
how would that work? Like, would it be bubbles, like colorful bubbles?
It could have been bubbles.
It wasn't.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you another question before, but I've forgotten what it is now.
I can give you from my questions.
Do you want to ask me a question?
I can ask you a question.
Okay.
All right, fine. Let's do it.
Okay.
What's the most out of character thing you've ever done?
Most out of character thing that I've ever done.
It's a hard one.
Oh. I don't think.
You see, I know it's hard. That's where I put crickets on. Oh, you've got.
I think. I don't know. Like, I mean, I've gone through like quite a number of like transformations of my like personality and my character and stuff like that. And I would say that I've always been like true to who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've gone through like some hardship and then like gone through a transformational like rebirth. So I don't really think that I've done anything like out of character.
I told you it's a hard one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do an easier one.
Okay.
What apps on your phone can't you live without?
Probably my message app.
Your message?
Yeah, and my calendar.
Okay.
Like, I just have to have everything in my calendar. Otherwise, I just
Yeah,
forget. Like,
fair
when
enough.
you get older, like, you just forget stuff. And I'm like, I walk out of here and I'm like, where did I park my car?
Where's my
What?
phone?
If my phone's connected to my watch.
Ah.
So if I leave my phone, my watch buzzes. And I'm like,
Okay.
I've got to go get my phone.
Funny.
Yeah. What about
Okay.
you?
What apps?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, socials. At the moment, especially because of the release of constantly, I'm like become content creator.
I mean, socials was a given for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, well, like with the special ones. Also calendar, sort of those things.
just trying to like keep on track, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask you another one. What makes you lose your temper?
Lose my temper. I've only lost my temper like 3 times.
What?
In my life.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, I don't get angry. Like, there's no point getting angry. Like, it's just a waste of energy.
Sorry. What do you mean?
Well-
Never get angry? I mean, like, what? That's you came to go park your car and someone took your spot.
All right, fine. They took my spot.
Okay.
I'll go find another one.
All right.
Like, I don't know. I think it's things like
Do you meditate?
no.
No. I'm just trying to think like where this zenness is of not
Where
getting
the
angry.
zenness.
Of not getting angry.
Look, I used to be a very anxious kid, and I was like introverted, and like imagine the complete opposite to how I am today.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was like as a kid, and like I'd be emotional and like cried everything and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 18, something happened, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm
Yeah.
gonna be who I want to be." And then I started building my personality and like doing things the way that I want to do it. And I don't know, like I just think that because my dad was always very like angry with us, and there's reasons for that. But at the end of the day, I was like, well, I'm not like him.
Mm-hmm.
And so anger serves no purpose.
Yeah.
You can't make good decisions when you're angry.
True. Very true.
You can't have clarity about a situation if you're angry because you're just
Yeah.
enraged, you know?
Yeah. But that's sort of a high level of like going through life kind of thing, of being able to detach that.
It's a higher level of emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
It's hard work to get to that situation.
yeah, it is hard work because you have to go through a lot.
Yeah.
But everything that I've been through has taught me and enhanced my ability to kind of be like this,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think when my parents divorced, my mum went through like lots of different religions,
Okay.
and one of those religions was Buddhism.
Okay.
And I know Buddhism isn't a religion, but anyway, she took us to like a temple, and you know, and I got to.
Is it not a religion?
No, it's not a religion.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can add it to
Correct.
to other religions.
Correct. And you know the
It's like the ice cream in Macca's. Sorry, no, I didn't say no.
It is like the ice cream at
no,
Macca's.
let's scrap that. I didn't compare.
That's going to be the first reel
No!
on Instagram.
No.
Buddhism is like the ice cream at
Macca's.
Macca's. Thanks to Shani.
Because you add it to your burger.
What?
'Cause
You
it-
fucking add ice cream to your
No,
burger?
you add it to your meal.
Oh, you add it to your meal.
Not to your burger, but like you choose whichever one you want, and then you.
Bro, I'm like, what is
No.
is in this burger?
Not that I eat Macca's. But
I mean, look, everything goes in the same mouth, so it's all going to end up in the same place anyway, so you
True.
might as well. Anyway, so that was like the first experience of like Buddhism, and I was like really intrigued at the generosity and the compassion that they had. And then
Yeah.
when I moved here, my best mate, his family, his dad is Buddhist, but they're Australian, but his
Yeah.
dad's Buddhist, and got to really see how they live and all of this. And then when the Dalai Lama came, like I went to his seminar, and you know, I've read his books and all this type of stuff, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you live through life acquiring things, and it's the act of acquiring things that will then end up giving you like suffering,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
I'm not such a big fan of religion.
yeah, like I'm not either, but I'm like, you know, like Buddhism just kind of,
So
because it's a way of life, it's like you can learn a lot from it.
So the thing like that I don't feel connected so much to with religion is that a lot of religions, including my own, involve sort of the to exist. A lot of the it's based on the past and the future, and not so much on the present. So if you do certain things in this lifetime, in the next lifetime you'll be rewarded. And that's and then at the end of the day, that causes.
How do you know?
What? How do you know what goes on in the?
How do you know you're going to be rewarded?
Exactly.
You don't know.
Sort of, you and I are at this moment the most alive that we'll ever be. Right? There's no more alive than this moment here and now. And if I make my decisions according to what's going to happen after, like I'm not living, this is the only thing that I actually know and I can prove and I can show. And religions play around with that, and then cause the world to look the way it's looking today, and it's not looking great due to the past and due to the future, but not the present. So I think from my not very great knowledge of Buddhism, that's like the one that does
The
deal
present.
with like let's see how we feel now and not work towards something else.
Yeah, 100%. And then there's that whole thing around if all the other religions are relying on things that are in the past, what about Chinese whispers? How do we know if what they're saying is actually true?
What do you mean?
Well, you know Chinese whispers.
No.
Do you know what Chinese whispers are?
No.
Or like when you, like if you get a group of people in a line and you say to the person in the back one message and you get them to repeat it,
okay, I didn't know it's called Chinese whispers.
the person at the front, it's a completely different message.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So if religion is based on these old text books or scriptures, how many times have they been changed?
Yeah.
Based on Chinese whispers.
Yes. No, but you've got stuff that are based on history, and
but even then, history. Like, who fucking wrote history?
True, but yeah, I'll compare it to something light. When I was traveling around New Zealand, right? So I was hitchhiking, and every hitch I took,
as you do.
No, don't you?
I've never hitchhiked.
Oh, all right. I used to be a hitchhiker in my past. So hitchhiked around New Zealand, and every hitch I took. So the New Zealanders would constantly complain about the Australians that brought over the possums that killed the Kiwis.
Right.
Right. And this was like a really hot topic in all of the rides I was taking.
Yeah.
I thought like sort of this is something that happened sort of recently. And I said, well, like, when did this happen? They're like 200 years ago. I was like, oh, well, so either like, I don't know, do something about it but sort of, so this is a very light example. No offense to the Kiwis that have lost their lives. But sort of, there's a situation now in life, okay? So we have lots of possums, not enough Kiwis. Let's fix it. But the continuous like being pissed off at Australians because the Australians of 200 years ago brought the possums over, and who knew? Like it's let it go. It's not relevant. There was things happen. Shit happens. Okay, let's do the now, and not
let's live in the present.
Let's live in the present, and not let's do things for something that will happen in the future. Yeah. There's a book, The Power of Now. Yeah, where that always said that like our brain to function, it needs to have that the thoughts of the past, whether if it's the nostalgia or that trauma that you're carrying with you, and the thoughts of the future with that anxiety or that hope or everything. But at the end of the day, like at the moment, this very second now, I'm feeling awesome physically, emotionally, and that's all that's happening. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Do you think we live in a simulation?
I don't know. I had an interview that she spoke about that a bit, but I think the world is really tricky at the moment with that everyone's living through 30 seconds of reality on their phone. That's like it's very tricky. At the end of the day, that living in the now and seeing what we have on social media and everything that's affecting and sculpting sort of how you see life when it's not, and it's based on yes, it's very tricky.
I think something's happening in the world. You can't put a finger on it, but like, yeah. I just get this feeling like there is something.
Yeah. I mean, and I can say in my world, my world is it's sort of somehow like, I don't know, again, not going into politics, but Israel is, it's like sort of sometimes I just wish, like, I could say I'm from Switzerland, or just a place that makes cheese or something. But
Cheese? Do you like cheese?
I do.
What type
do.
of cheese do you like?
Cheddar and
Cheddar.
Swiss.
Swiss.
Yeah.
You are Switzerland.
But it's Israel is when things go on there, it affects the whole world.
Yeah.
It affects the whole world. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts because things can happen. Things can happen everywhere,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cause this. Wow, this like, everyone has an opinion and everyone has something to say, and everyone.
I think it's okay to have an opinion. It's just whether or not you need to voice that opinion. Like, otherwise, just shut up.
But yes, but also the question of opinion. I can tell you that when the war started with Ukraine and Russia, so I navigated to, if we're playing teams, right, in the thing. So I navigated towards Ukraine because that Russia crossed a sovereign border, right? So if you just take that, they crossed. That's not okay. Ukraine's a winner in stupid thing. But I said...
it is a simplistic view.
Yeah. But I didn't want to... Like, everyone was showing support and putting flags up on their profile and everything. I said, I'm not going to voice anything until I want to have an opinion and I want to understand it. So I started reading and reading and reading. And I realized that the more I read, it's fucking complicated.
It is complicated.
It's very, very, very complicated. And I said, you know what? It's too complicated for me. It goes way back, and there's so much that goes into it. Who am I to come and voice an opinion on that? So everyone's entitled to an opinion, of course. But the problem is, where are you? Are you just basing yourself off of TikTok, or are you actually going and checking? Like, are you actually reading? Like, going into it, and that's the tricky part of.
How did you get into being a radio host?
So when I moved here, I wanted to stay in contact with my musician community in Israel. And I wanted to bring their music over to the Jewish community, and so I pitched a show, and then I started interviewing Israeli musicians. So I did that for about 2 years, and then it was time to start to get to know the Aussies, local musicians. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, to have the drive to, like, want to do that and share all of that information and, other people's experiences is pretty cool.
Well, you do it yourself. And you learn a lot, don't you?
100%.
Yeah, it's it's very humbling. Also, like, sort of just like, your worth and what you do and everything, but just actually being in the couch and listening to someone else and more, like, just different types of people, just like you said, like we spoke about before, and just it broadens you. It gives you like, it's nice to not be the one that's taking the spotlight and give it to someone else, and, like, wholeheartedly, happily.
100%. That's why I do this, because I was like, I need to shine the light on, like, other people and bring their stories to life, or bring their stories or the awareness of them, because then how do you accelerate the knowledge of the human race if everybody's quiet sitting at home? Like, we have so much to learn from other people, and
even though I don't see any problem with people just living at home and living their life.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I don't either.
Like, I wish that more people would just do that.
More people just live at home.
No, just live, just like sort of live there, because, like I said, there's much more at the moment. There's much more hate going around and spreading of that than there is just living life or learning from life. I mean, this is my world, unfortunately. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not yours. But so yes, I wish that people would just like like the sun is out. Just put a shrimp on the barbie. just do it. Enjoy.
Okay, Crocodile Dundee.
I told you this is me like being part of the Australian Society.
The
Strain, right?
we don't actually say that a lot.
What?
Put a shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah, I know. And you don't call girls Sheila. But you did lose twice in the war to camels.
Wow. To camels?
Yeah. So, the Australian Army... No, not to camels. Sorry. Not to camels. The Australian Army went to war in Western Australia, by the way. You should know your history. With emus. The Great Australian War.
Mm-hmm.
They lost.
To emus.
Twice.
Have you been to WA?
No. But really, check it up.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll do a fact check on you.
Yeah. Fact check with the war against the emus.
One thing that I should do is I should do research on people before they come on the podcast.
Why?
Because I've been caught out a couple of times. Have you been caught out a couple of times on your radio show? Or do you have other people doing your research for you?
No. I because I volunteer, so I actually don't have time to do the research. I'm doing the research like a bit beforehand.
Yeah.
Like just on what I'm reading with the bio. With me, because that I'm not Australian, so there's a name dropping thing. So sometimes like the artist will maybe I shouldn't be saying this. So sometimes the artist will say like, yeah, and I worked with
so and so and so and so.
Yeah, and they say it and they like give you a look like, and I'll be like, wow. I've got no idea who he is. No idea whatsoever. Whoa. Oh wow.
I mean sometimes it's sometimes it's a good thing not doing your research, because then you're like, there's no nervousness or anxiety about
and also sort of
the
then
individual
you and then you like you're pleasantly
you're real,
sort of like
you're candid.
yeah
Mm.
yeah
Do you get nervous
on the radio?
on the radio, or like when you're performing?
Yeah, I get not on the radio. I mean, unless there's sometimes like things all go wrong in like the start of the show, and then you're like 30 seconds till we go live and everything's not working. Oh, it's like no, the button.
Shit.
Yeah, so sometimes that happens, like technical issues. And with the performance, so when I was studying, so there was one of the students asked the lecturer, when do you stop getting nervous? And then he said, if that happens, you should stop performing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you need that little bit of, because if it's just like then it's just like a job,
If you stop getting nervous, you should stop performing.
Because then it's like, then what are you doing? Like if then it's okay, we're going up on stage. I mean,
What about actually like just serving your purpose though?
What do you mean?
Like if your purpose is to like share your music and connect with people, and
I still got to be good at it. I still got to, there's a lot of things going on.
You can do that without being nervous though.
I think it's maybe nerves isn't the right word. Maybe it's like excitement. Excitement, adrenaline, heart pumping.
I think it's because they share the same like feelings.
Yeah.
Excitement
and nerves. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you don't know to differentiate between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though you've been doing it for enough time, so.
So what are your plans for next year?
I don't know yet. I'm just trying to get through this year because, like I said, I've become a full-time content creator, which is nuts.
What does that mean?
It means that
you become a full-time content creator.
It means that towards the single, right? So you've got to constantly be posting stuff, right? And it's got to be eclectic. So you can't just put like, come to my show, come to my show, come to my show. Because then people say, oh, stop, we can't hear about your show anymore. Go away, right? So you've got to show all of your different aspects as a person.
Like
right?
what?
Like the musician mom side of me, or like I don't know. I'm let's just say I've been going through my stats and seeing sort of no,
don't go through your stats.
no, but it's actually it's really really interesting to see.
You are a nerd.
What? No, but to see actually what people connect to and what they don't, sort of what you think that is interesting about you, and then realize that like
does it matter?
It does when you're trying to promote things. It does when you. What can you do? That's how it works. What can you do? Listen.
Yeah.
You know, but it does.
I hate that.
I know.
I know. Having a look at stats.
I know, but in a way,
if people are going to like you, they're going to like you.
That's true. But there's stuff. It's just like things that, like I was surprised, like going through my stats. I was surprised that a lot of people really respond to the radio show. Which was surprising for me. I think that
why is that surprising?
I don't know, because it's something that I don't know. Because I volunteer and I just do it. You know, like I don't know. It's just been something that I do, and I don't. I just do it. I don't give it a lot of thought.
That to me says that people connect with you as a person, and they're interested in knowing more about you or listening to you.
Yeah. So those were the things that surprised me. Like, you know, like there was one night that I came home last week or something, and as I'm coming up to my driveway, there's this house next to me that's completely, you know, like looks like a Halloween house. And then suddenly I realized, is that a fox? Is there a fox?
In the garden.
Like coming out of the bushes of this house next to me. And then I stop and I put the lights on, and then there's these two fox cubs. I'm like, there's this fox family living next to me. So I put this post up on the community Facebook page, you know, like Sleepy Melbourne, 11 o'clock. Everyone's awake apparently. So I said, like, I've seen this family of foxes. What do I do? And then everyone's saying, like, you should call the council. You should do this. And there was this one woman that gave this kind of Karen answer that said, like, you know, like, just leave them alone.
A Karen answer.
Yeah, just leave them alone, or call the council, but just leave them alone. I said, listen, I wasn't planning on getting the guitar out and singing Kumbaya with them, you know.
I mean, you could.
So one of them said, well, why not? I said, well, I thought they'd prefer the foxtrot. And then it just like went on like to this like whole thing. Anyway, so I took like a screenshot of this, and that was like, you know, everyone was very interested with the foxes. So it's always funny how, like, you know, you spend your whole life, you know, in music and trying to perfect yourself. And then, you know, at the end of the day, like a post about foxes, that's when people are interested. It's life, no? But it's just nice to know that it's nice to know. It's interesting to know what people connect to and what they don't. It just gives you sort of. It's not that I need to now mold myself to what they want. I'm still doing me, but just to actually be on it and sort of say, okay, like just be aware of the fact that there's things that you're doing, like sort of because my family are in Israel, so I'm constantly putting stuff up on stories so that like grandparents and everything can see, the kids can see what's going on. That's where it comes from, but just seeing sort of what people connect to and what they don't. So it just gives you like a little bit more.
Yeah. Look, I understand everything that you're saying. I guess I was always taking the point of view of I don't really care. Like, as an artist, I'm just doing what I think is right, you know?
Yeah.
And trying to, like, be true to myself, because at the end of the day, the people who like me will find me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and all that type of stuff.
Yes, but it doesn't, but there's so many of us artists, and there's it doesn't, you've got to play the game. I mean, like, I wish I had my actual roadies or the person that was doing that for me, and I didn't have to.
Hurry up, sons, and grow up.
No, they're doing it. But I wish that we didn't. That's a horrible part of the. I just want to play my guitar and do my stuff. You know? That's what I want to do. Of course, it's like I said, it's this whole going into the stats and seeing what works and or like, you know, and trying out different methods and everything. It's not. That's not. I mean, like, seriously, like thinking of ideas of how to do a reel so we could get like. No, it's not. It's not my dream job, which is its actual job on top of my regular job of music teaching and performing and the radio and having 2 little kids. No, no, but it's so anyway. So this is a very long answer to your question of what are my plans next year. So I've got to release a single. So there's a launch on the 9th and then the single on the 15th. And then there's another performance in George Lane on the 27th. But
Hey,
yeah.
this is the day after my birthday.
Hey, well, oh, no, you're not Scorpio then. You're on the next one.
No.
What is it? That's
Yep, that one. Sagittarius.
Yeah. That.
It's the only zodiac that has a weapon.
Yeah? Okay. Well, Scorpio has weapon, honey. And it's not an external one. It comes from within.
God. Are you a Scorpio?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It's my birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So basically, we've got to get through that. And then I'm just really looking forward to just
relaxing.
Yeah, because look,
Spending
I've got a
time
band.
With the family.
Which
You've
is,
got a band.
Yeah, I've got a band. And
Are you going to tour?
so I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've just got to get through the launch, but it's the first time in my life. I've been in bands all my life. It's the first time in my life that I'm with a band of 3 Latinos men.
Oh.
Why, oh?
Sounds complicated.
It's different. Look. I mean, sometimes I feel like
It's different.
It's different. It's different because there's always like a female in the band, and then there's always
that's you.
No, with me. There's me and like there'll always be another girl in the band.
Right.
Always. Like the first time that it just turned out that way. That 3 of them are South American, and yes, it's like there's a lot of testosterone going on. I mean, you could make an Axe advert kind of thing going.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's
But you're a Scorpio. You can handle that.
I handle it. I'm a Scorpio. I'm Israeli. I've got the chutzpah. You know, I've got everything going.
You've got the what?
Chutzpah.
The
Chutzpah. Do you know chutzpah?
no. The chutzpah.
Chutzpah. Chutzpah is
Sounds like you're saying the futzpah.
No. So chutzpah is like it's sort of Israelis are very direct, right? So sometimes we could be direct in a way that's kind of like rude, but we don't mean to be. It's
right,
just
so
sort
you're
of
blunt.
Yes, that's the chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry, are you gonna tour next year?
So I don't know yet. I mean, I've got to like within time. I'm applying to festivals and stuff. That's the dream. I would really want to perform in a festival. I tried doing touring. Not last year, the year before. Not really touring. I said I'm going to try a month of tasting the Shani Weiss date.
Hang on. Tasting the what?
You know where you have like a poster where it says your name and then it says date, place, like the whole
right.
tour.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to have to
like a schedule.
Yeah, like a tour. And I said I want to taste that to see what it's like. And it was, first of all, the boys were even younger then.
Oh, your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end, yeah, because I had for many years, I was constantly sort of trying to find the balance. It was maybe even not as much a balance, like it was head to head of motherhood versus musicianship. And what's more important, because music's the longest relationship I've had. I've been doing it since I was 5. You know, it comes before everything.
Wow.
No?
Yeah.
It's yeah. So what? So now I've got to give it all up because I'm a mum and go sit with mum groups and talk about how to steam vegetables.
No, you go sit in your mum group and you talk about music.
So with Tom, my eldest, so instead of, I did a mum group once. I said, I just spent the whole rest of the time in the recording studio with him. Though, like, no. With Luca, we had COVID, so I spent it with myself crying.
Ouch.
No, it's all right. But yeah, so now after being a mum for about 8 years, so now I can say that that's the most important, more than music. I hope that I'm never put to the test of
to pick
picking between the two. But yeah, but there was like a very much sort of, you know, society, how it is with women that
there's a lot of pressure.
yeah, I mean, look, in Australia, if 0 is considered completely equal and 100 is considered like, you know, what's going on with the Taliban at the moment with women. So Australia is 18.9. So it's not completely. There's still differences with the wage. There's still differences with the whole outlook of women and being mums and all that. So it's a constant. Was more of a constant battle with myself of how much but
how much effort you're going to put into that versus.
And not effort, like the definition of myself. Like, I'm a musician before I'm a mum. I'm a mum before I'm a musician. So now I'm a mum first.
So now you're a mum first.
Yeah. And that goes along with the whole tour. So touring, you know, I mean, I'm pretty content with, like, I've done huge things in my life. I've done huge adventures and stuff. I've created humans. I've created music, and
you were
think
in the Air Force.
and
you
I think
went hitchhiking through New Zealand.
So I think that, like, you know, touring. I think I could wait a bit. And be a little bit. I mean, I'm not a really present mum as it is. Because, like, you know, I can't pick them up, drop them off, go off to the radio. Can't pick them up, go off to a gig. So I'm like, there's a lot of work to do there. But to take that to a tour
means that you're not there for that.
I'm not touring in the level of Taylor Swift, right? Where, you know, okay, let's bring the family along and have all. You know, it won't be like a big high luxurious tour. It'll be going from like place to place and doing the thing. So it's all right. I've performed a lot. Of course, I'd like my music to go everywhere and everything, but I'm happy with having sort of some performances and just not as hectic just for now, so that, you know, they're small for a very short amount of time, then they don't want to hang out with you anymore. So
exactly. Well, thanks so much, Shani, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me on. I hope I didn't say too many silly things.
No, not at all. How can people find you?
Shani Weiss Official. That's ShaniWeiss Official at Instagram or on Facebook.
Yep.
And on the 15th.
Watch out for the 15th.
Yes. All About Life.
All About Life.
Yes.
Fantastic. Let me just take a quick selfie.
Yay.
Amazing. Well, again, thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to hear the EP.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe I'll get you back next year.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Maybe I'll have you on my show.
Hey,
yeah,
that's an idea. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening in. Make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all next time. See ya.